For most people, the word recession triggers pure dread. Layoffs, shuttered businesses, retirement savings evaporating overnight. The news becomes a loop of doom. Wallets snap shut. A heavy anxiety settles over everything. And yet, while millions panic, a small group of wealthy people quietly gets ready. Because some of the largest fortunes in history weren't built in booms. They were built in the deepest, darkest downturns. How does one person's financial nightmare become another's greatest opportunity? It has far less to do with greed than you'd think, and everything to do with a glitch in how wealth changes hands. This is why rich people love recessions. Strip away the jargon, and an economy is just people trading with each other. Your spending is someone's income. Their spending is the next person's income. A recession is that loop suddenly downshifting. A shock hits. Businesses see sales dip, so they cut costs and lay people off. Those people stop spending. Now the restaurant can't pay its supplier. The supplier halts the factory. And fear spreads faster than any virus. We're imitative creatures. When we see our neighbors hoarding, instinct tells us to do the same. Economists call it the paradox of thrift. One person saving in a crisis is protected, but if everyone saves at once, they strangle the economy. The crowd causes the exact disaster it was running from. We like to believe we invest rationally. We don't. Markets swing on an emotional pendulum between two extremes, intoxicating greed and paralyzing fear. In a boom, the pendulum locks on greed. Prices rocket. Your neighbor brags about his winnings. Dopamine, FOMO, and you buy at the very top when everything is most expensive. Then it swings to fear, the market corrects. The media declares the system is collapsing. The pain of losing is wired to feel twice as strong as the joy of gaining. So the average investor panics and sells at the bottom, locking in the loss. Buy high, sell low, the exact opposite of logic because biology overrules the brain. Here's the flaw. Walk past your favorite store with a 50% off sign, and there's a stampede. People fighting to trade cash for discounted goods. Now, the market drops 50%. The same ownership in the world's best companies is suddenly half price, and the crowd reacts with horror, running the other way. Why the opposite reaction? Because when a TV is on sale, you know it still works. When an asset drops, it comes wrapped in fear, and the crowd confuses a falling price with falling value. The wealthy look past the narrative, straight at the math. A great business doesn't stop being great because the public panicked. A recession is a rare clearance sale on wealth-generating machines, and they're happy to shop while the store is empty. In a boom, holding cash looks foolish. Inflation nibbles at it, and everyone using cheap debt to buy assets looks like a genius next to you. Then the recession hits, credit freezes, banks stop lending, debts that felt manageable become nooses, and cash transforms into a superpower. Cash buys something better than luxury, optionality. With liquidity in a drought, you're the only water in the desert. You don't borrow at brutal rates. You don't have to sell to survive. The wealthy don't hoard cash out of pessimism. They hold it because they know crashes are a certainty, and they wait, sometimes for years, for the moment the crowd is finally forced to sell. Here's the core truth. Recessions don't destroy wealth. They transfer it. Picture musical chairs played with hard assets. When the music of easy credit stops, whoever played with too much leverage is caught exposed. A developer who bought 10 buildings on 95% debt. His tenants lose their jobs, the rent stops, he can't make the payments. He's forced to sell at a fire sale price. The buildings don't vanish. The bricks, the land, the future rent, all still there. Ownership just gets ripped from weak hands, over-leveraged and desperate, into strong hands with the cash to absorb the shock. The investor buys the distressed asset for 40 cents on the dollar, holds through the storm, And when the cycle turns, it returns to full value. This transfer has repeated for centuries. The secret was stated by Warren Buffett. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. The average person sees a stock fall 40% and assumes the business got 40% worse. That's the error. When a great company's stock plunges in a panic, has the company actually deteriorated? Are the patents gone? Did the engineers forget how to build? Will customers throw away their phones? No. The value stays stable. Only the price disconnects, dragged down by emotional selling. The wealthy train themselves to watch the value line and ignore the noise of the price line. Because a panic is just a temporary glitch that lets them buy money printing machines at a fear-driven discount. They aren't gambling on tickers. They're buying empires on clearance. This is the real divide, and it's not about the size of a bank account. When the crisis hits, the crowd asks one question rooted in fear: what do I sell before it gets worse? The wealthy ask the opposite: what can I acquire while everyone else is forced to let go? Every great crisis has minted a new wave of fortunes. The hard part was never intelligence. It was nerve. The opportunity of a lifetime never looks like an opportunity in the moment. It looks like a trap. And let's be honest, none of this means recessions are good. They carry real suffering, lost jobs, broken businesses, families under pressure. This isn't a celebration. But denying the cycle is like getting angry at winter. You can't wish the snow away. The goal was never to cheer the cold. It's to make sure you're the one with a coat instead of the one left out in it. Where the crowd sees an ending, the prepared see a discount window. Where the crowd sees risk, they see the rarest kind of opportunity. The wealthy don't fear the winters, they plan for them. And the assets they gather in the storm are exactly what carry them through every season that follows. Because fortunes aren't made in the boom when everyone feels like a genius. They're made in the winter, quietly, by the few who keep their nerve while the rest run for the door.